What's going on, y'all? We got another episode for you, of course, Pondering Poet series. So, this episode, I have decided to kind of go over my perspective on what I believe self worth is. Giving yourself self worth. Um, but the episode I like to call it, is self worth living versus existing. Self worth living versus existing. So, one of the biggest things that I've gained over a course of time, or kind of gained throughout the course of my life, is being able to understand my self worth and also understanding what I need to do within this lifetime so I can get something out of this lifetime in addition to me being able to build my legacy. You don't have too many people in modern day, thinking about building a legacy, because I mean, let's be real about it. If you're thinking about building a legacy is something that you leave behind after you pass on or after you expire. However you want to, say, expiration, death, going to the afterlife, what may have you. That's not for me to, give you a label for. But the biggest things that have occurred in my understanding of being able to build my self worth are three things that I think about. Um, One thing is my interpersonal intelligence, whatever is going on inside, and what I'm doing to be able to build my interpersonal intelligence, be able to build what's going on in my mind, what's going on in my heart, the things that I feel, and the things that I know to be true as far as me building myself and being able to do something within this lifetime. Um, the second thing is interpersonal intelligence. My interaction with others, or my interaction with other things. It could be other human beings or things that I interact with that help me to build myself and help me to contribute to others, which in turn helps me to build my self worth. To give an example, when it comes down to just having a genuine conversation with somebody, that conversation can go anywhere, but inevitably through that conversation, I'm able to gain wisdom. I'm also able to gain wisdom to be able to help me to search for whatever enlightenment I want to be able to gain after gaining said wisdom. And enlightenment would be, whatever knowledge or whatever information I can gain based on me searching for the knowledge versus wisdom, which is whatever knowledge or whatever, tips I could gain throughout, the course of my life in reference to what someone else has gone through or, the things that they have learned from their personal experiences. And then another thing that which is the third thing. Another thing that I believe, that ties to self-worth is having a baseline purpose, having a baseline purpose. And you know, every human being has, purpose, but every human being doesn't even know what purpose they should give themselves. Sometimes their purpose, kind of falls in, their lap, metaphorically speaking. Sometimes it falls in their lap, and they really understand what it is, and it comes to them naturally. Sometimes it's something that you have to search for, and you don't really get until you get to a certain age in life, where for me, my baseline purpose has always, been tied to me building my legacy. But then, in addition, one of the biggest things that I've gained throughout the course of my time, and I've also gained throughout, me educating myself and, becoming educated. Obviously, educating myself would be more so within my autodidacticism when it comes down to the knowledge that I search for and, be able to gain. Um, and then being able to be educated is me going for college courses or going for other certifications, things of the such when it comes down to the things that I do in my personal life. But my baseline purpose ties to me building my legacy, but then also ties to me being able to, if I can say this, me being able to contribute to others' lives in various ways. To give examples, I'm a poet. You know, I use poetry as a medium to be able to educate others, but I also use poetry as a medium to be able to educate myself. Um, and I do consider myself to be an educator. You know, I do it in various ways. I can do it, within formal instruction. I can do it within informal instruction, because there are, multiple methods to be able to educate others. I could do it with, within, to give one example, the Socratic method of, teaching. Um, but I also can do it, within the medium or within the performing art of poetry. Be it someone read, any of my works, or be it I perform my works for others, where the dynamic of someone being able to read something is from their own perspective of how they see the words and what they gain from the words, versus them being able to see my words animated through the confines of performing it, and them gain a different perspective on how the words are seen, you know? And, obviously, structurally, when it comes down to the context of the various poems that I end up writing, um, there are a lot of things that I convey that, will be considered taboo or will be considered, regular things to talk about. I don't exclude any topic out of the confines of art, the confines of my art, which is, being able to write poetry. I don't exclude any topic. All topics are free reign. Whatever topic it is, I'm going to talk about it, no matter what it is. Even if it's a topic that I may not necessarily be fully educated in, or I may not know enough about, I'll still, search for knowledge when it comes down to the topic, or I will elaborate on what I do know, but then I will probably, convey, yeah, I do know these things, but maybe there's more that I need to learn. And I could either learn that through, my own, research, or I could learn it from somebody else, someone who may be more educated than I am. But with that said, you know, all educators, must have, this humility in wanting to learn more to be able to convey knowledge to others, so others can more so empower themselves. I believe being an educator, I am a catalyst, if I can say this. I'm a catalyst for empowerment. Human beings empowering themselves to be able to do better for themselves, to be able to build themselves up better, to be able to, find whatever their purpose is, no matter what it is. And for me, being able to do that is very, very fulfilling, especially with my current position that I have right now when it comes down to teaching information technology, more specifically data systems, or different operating systems, so on and so forth. And yeah, I am teaching information technology, but any particular topic within information technology can also be an opening door to be able to teach other things too. You know, I don't also just teach information technology. I also, convey to my students how to be better people, how to better play certain roles, but also how to better play their role, you know, and that is empowering them. And part of empowering others contributes to my self-worth, you know, even right now, this particular medium that I'm using, being able to create a vlog, even though I call the vlog, a Pondering Poet series, you know, I convey to you these topics that surface in my mind that I ponder on to be able to give you the things that inevitably I think about that, would be important in the scope of being able to be more creative, give yourself more content, you know, but also to help others out there who are, aspiring poets to be able to understand, the scope of thinking within, being, an artist, because I consider us, poets, spoken word artists, what may have you, even hip hop artists. We're all artists. We all create art, through our words. And for us to be able to do that, it takes a lot. It takes a lot out of us. And with that said, we must have different mediums to be able to convey all these thoughts that we have, which in turn, this is one way for me to be able to give myself a little bit of, if I can say this, therapy in being able to structure all of the stuff that's going on in my mind as far as the things I think about that I believe are good to share, good to convey to others, just as a whole, you know? So for me, intrapersonal intelligence, like to also give an example for intrapersonal intelligence, being able to give myself different affirmations, affirmations when it comes down to my spirituality, affirmations when it comes down to, my ancestry, affirmations when it comes down to particular things that I want to know and I need to learn to be a better human being, you know, interpersonal, be able to be open to others' opinions, be able to be open to others' experiences, be able to be open to, others' hardships and moments of chaos. Because all of it inevitably is going to teach me something. And then, mind you, my baseline purpose, building a legacy while also being the best educator I can be. So, yeah, that all taps into what I consider to be my self-worth. And my self-worth, I must be doing something to build that every single day, you know, in some aspect or shape or form. I must be doing something. Um, Definitely one of the things I could say is me building my legacy, that ties to, having a good relationship with my woman. I have a fiance. Eventually, we're going to get married, but I have a fiance. And, you know, especially right now, us going through the hard times that we're going through, um, hard times in the scope of the pandemic going on, more so. You know, we realize how much loyalty we have for one another. We realize how strong we are in what we're going through right now. And we realize how much effort it takes to be able to continue to build when you are not physically in each other's presence. Be able to continue to build. And a lot of people, they may think of smaller things that inevitably doesn't tie to their self-worth and them being able to build up themselves and believe that, there's a laundry list of things that inevitably is going to help to be able to contribute to themselves, with which in actuality it only takes away from them and doesn't help them to grow as a human being, doesn't help them to build their mind, doesn't help them to be able to embrace some levels of mental anguish to be able to reach certain goals that inevitably contributes to their human experience. So, with that said, that's this episode of a Pondering Poet series. You know, self-worth, living versus existing. What do I mean by that? Living is active, it's dynamic. Existing is stationary and it's static. Which side would you want to have within your life, within your timeline? Think about it. Take it easy.